Hey guys, today I want to show you how we can create cascading drop-downs within Team Forms. So here in front of you, I have a drop-down menu that's automatically populated with data from SharePoint. And as I select a vehicle make, the next drop-down menu is automatically filtered based on the selection of the first. Alright, let's jump straight in. So here in front of you, I've got the Excel document that I've already set up as a data source to populate our drop-down menus. We won't go over how to set up a data source in this video, but I'll include a link in the description below. But what I really want to show you is we have a column here that represents our make and another column which represents our model. So with that in mind, let's jump back over to Team Forms. Alright, so let's go ahead and modify the vehicle inspection form template that I showed earlier. The first thing I want to do is create a drop-down menu that is automatically populated with SharePoint data. To do that, I'll drag and drop a SharePoint data component. We'll call this make to represent the vehicle make. Next, I'll go to the data tab and select the vehicle data source that I set up earlier. So the label property is currently set to car make, so it would show the vehicle makes. We'll also go ahead and sort it by the car make. Now previewing this dropdown, you can see there are a huge number of repeats here. And the reason for that is that even though the remove duplicates is ticked, Team Forms is actually comparing every column inside of that Excel document. So to get it to only look at the car make column, we'll select the car make in the fields property. Now if I preview that drop-down menu, you can see I have vehicle makes and they're only unique ones here. Alright, we'll hit save. Now let's preview that change in the preview tab so that we can actually visualize how that data is stored. I'll select a BMW for the vehicle make, and in the top left hand corner we can see this code icon, which will reveal how the data is stored. This is going to be really important when we write our filter. So here you can see that the response is stored inside of data. Within data, we have make. Notice how make is lowercase, whereas the question itself is uppercase. This is because Team Forms actually uses the value set in the API tab, not the label itself to store the data against. Next, inside of make is car make. So if I want to reference the vehicle make, I would simply use data.make.carMake. We'll return to this later, but for now, let's jump back to the build tab to set up our next drop-down menu. Just like earlier, we want to drag and drop a SharePoint data component to represent our vehicle model. Under the data tab, we'll select the vehicle's data source we set up, but unlike earlier, we don't want to display the car make. Instead, we'll select the car model to show in our drop-down menu, and we'll also sort it by the car model. Now, if I preview this, you'll see that there are vehicle models for every single car make. What we want to do is actually write a filter query that will filter down the response based on the previous question. So this is a JavaScript expression that will run for every single row in our data source. Let's give this a shot. So it needs to return show, and you can access the current row using item. You can see that the current row is available to preview in the sample item. So we want the car make, so item.car_make equals the response to the previous question. So remember, we formulated this earlier as data.make.car_make. So to prevent duplicates, remember we need to tell Team Forms to only look at specific columns. So we'll select make and model. I'll go ahead and save and preview this. So if I go and select BMW and select model, you can see that only BMWs show. If I clear this, notice how the models is not yet cleared. To set that functionality up, I can enable it inside the settings. Settings, data. Now under advanced, I can select refresh options on, so the models will refresh whenever someone changes the make. And I also want to clear the value on the refresh and hit save. Now, if I preview this form and I say select BMW, I can see the BMW showing. But if I were to clear the make, the model also clears. Now that's the whole process of creating cascading dropdowns. The principles that I showed today can apply to any number of cascading dropdowns. We could apply it to 3 or 4, it wouldn't really matter. So that's all for today. I hope you guys have found this helpful. Thanks for watching. If you guys want to see more content like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.